helped create a book of natural history. This is our review of Encyclopedia.
Encyclopedia is a dice placement set collection game about discovering new creatures to include in your encyclopedia. And we had a lot of fun laughing at each other trying to pronounce these Latin names.
There's a lot I love about this game, but it has some quirks that I find a little irritating. We'll tell you all about it after this quick how to play. Encyclopedia is played over a series of 6 rounds, with players placing dice on different action spaces on their turn.
Players will collect cards from the Academy section that they will then study with expedition actions by placing cubes on different card categories.
Once a player is satisfied with their research, they can publish their findings by moving the cubes to the main board, which will score them points.
After 6 rounds, players add up the victory points from the different categories they've placed cubes into, and the player with the most points wins.
This was a game we backed on Kickstarter. I really love the look of the Kickstarter because of all the animal pictures that they had in the game. You're collecting the different animals. It's a set collection, but then it's also a dice placement game. So I don't really like dice rolling, which you do have to roll the dice, but then you place the dice based on what the numbers are, and you can place them on the different actions. And there's also the different colors that you have too. You'll randomly choose the dice out of the bag, and the different colors may determine different actions that you can take as well. So I really like how it integrated a lot of the different mechanics into this game. However, there are some mechanics, especially with the publishing action, that are a little convoluted and a little hard to explain to someone when you're first teaching them, even if they've played board games before, and a little hard to keep track of in your head as you're playing. You're like, all right, what do I have to do to get points? How do I get points? Where am I gonna get points? Like, it's a little difficult to tell. So I do like a lot going on in this game, and I'm really happy we backed it, and I'm really happy we actually got our copy of it. We'll go into that in a little bit. It does have some issues that I feel like are holding it back from being one of my top favorite games.
When we first cracked this game open, it does have a very intimidating table presence. I mean, just you can see from the board right now, it's pretty big, and then we each have our own little encyclopedia or character boards here, and then you kind of build out your little tableau. And so it does need a bit of table space. I did like the artwork and the whole theming of it where we're building our encyclopedia, so that was really fun because I like trying to learn. All the animals have their Latin names in there or their scientific names, so you know, we're sitting there, we're like, oh, this is, well, let's do one for example. This is Bellarica regulorum. And we're just like, ah, yeah, the old Bellarica regulorum. Yeah, that's the one.
So the first few actions of your turn or of your game, of your strategy that you're doing are pretty self-explanatory, pretty easy to follow. You're gonna place the dice, you're gonna get your colored cards that you want, you're gonna try to follow your strategy that's gonna get you the most symbols matching it. And then you're gonna place another die in the research section to then place the cubes on your card. Pretty self-explanatory, similar to other games of set collection and resource management, adding the things, doing your thing. However, it's when you get to the publishing phase that it gets a little convoluted. So when you go to publish your card, you're gonna choose one of the ones that are face up in front of you, and you're gonna base all of your decisions on that. So the continent that it's from, so this is red, so this is from North America and South America, and then the symbols below it. So all the other cards in your area that can match these symbols, you can then publish from that and then publish the red card as well. So it's a little convoluted in what you're looking at. Like, oh, I'm doing the red card, but it has to match these symbols, or, oh, I'm doing these symbols, but it's not this colored card. It's a little bit difficult.
The games we played, I really focused on researching and just adding cubes on all my different animals, right? However, it's that publishing where I just kind of got lost, or there's a bit of a learning curve, as Kenny was mentioning. I just felt like, oh, okay, fill up all your cards, research them, and then when you publish, boom, all those cubes get added. Nope. I think some of them where, you know, if I research this and that, then the other ones just got wasted. And I was like, ugh, wish I'd known that.
Yeah, so what he's talking about, so if you have several cards that have similar symbols, so if you're gonna publish these, then you can do these symbols that are down here. There's a storm cloud here and a storm cloud here. So I'd be able to match the storm cloud and publish those storm clouds. However, all the other symbols on this card, if I had done research, will be wasted if I'm gonna publish that one, because then I have to get rid of this one.
I got so many cubes. Doesn't matter. It's like, oh man.
Throw them away.
Yeah. One mechanic that I thought was interesting that's kind of take that, but maybe it's a better for you take that, is once you have your dice, you can put them on here in a certain order, and other players are allowed to take them. So for example, if you put one of your dice here and a player took it, then nothing happens.
Yeah, so you want to put your weak one there. But if they take the far one,
right, they take the far one, you get 3 points. So usually you probably put like your higher scoring dice here, and these moves you up on the star track. This one gives you 2 coin. So it gives you a chance to kind of like, oh, okay, well, I don't want these, but maybe someone else wants them because, I don't know, for whatever reason they might need it.
Or because someone can take them, they're like, oh, I know that this person's probably going to steal this one, so at least I'll get 3 points knowing that they'll steal my game.
Yeah, if someone pulled all ones and they're like, oh, man.
We were lucky enough to actually get our copy of the game. So Holy Grails went out of business, and a lot of the games, this one and then some of their other Kickstarter games, were stuck at the fulfillment facility, and then you had to contact the fulfillment facility to try to get your games, and it was just this whole mess. However, we were lucky enough that we were able to get our game, and we didn't back any of their other games up until that point or after it. So we were able to get this, and I just remember reading on Reddit afterwards and like the whole like scenario going on, which is crazy. I'm like, well, got our copy.
Sorry.
So I was happy to get our copy. I am not happy that there won't ever be any expansions or changes made to the game from the creator, or maybe the creator of the game, I don't know, could come out with stuff, but I would love to see some house rules as far as actually tweaking this game to make it a little bit more playable for the average board gamer and not so convoluted with the publishing side of it. But it would also be interesting if someone could actually just buy the IP to this game and do a reissue from a different publisher and maybe make some tweaks to it. Because I do like a lot here, and I feel like it is kind of a waste with all the hard work that went into this to just have it as a, well, some of you actually got lucky and got it, and the rest of you, good luck on eBay. All right, overall, Encyclopedia, what'd you think, Lee?
I mean, I really like the artwork. I like the science-y theme to it where, you know, I get to learn a little bit about their Latin names or scientific names, so that looked really fun. There does seem to be a lot of strategy in here, which, you know, like to hate.
So I really like the artwork. That's what drew us to it. And I do like how they incorporated the dice placement as a mechanic and then how you can steal it. So if you're not good at rolling dice, like me, you can steal other players. And it's a take that, but they also get something for it unless they place it down here on this one. So I do like how there is some good ways to mitigate how badly you are rolling if you get a steal from other players. But then if you happen to get a good roll, you may actually just be able to play your own and maybe people won't steal from you. So I do like a lot about this game. All right, so now, what did you not like about this game?
Well, I think we've kind of talked about it ad nauseum. It's just throughout the whole game, I guess I wasn't entirely sure where most of my points were coming from. I knew it was important to research, where you got points there and some other things might have gotten you points, but like when publishing came, that's when it kind of slapped me in the face because it was just like, oh.
Yeah, I would definitely say, we've talked about it a lot, that the publishing mechanic in this game does score you a lot of points, is an interesting mechanic. I just don't think it's a fun mechanic. So I like what they were going for, but they needed to find some way to make it a little easier.
Overall, I'd probably give it like a 5.5. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 6 because I do like a lot about it, and I do feel like there's a lot of potential, and I would love to see this potential build to something. It's unfortunate that they went out of business, but hopefully someone can do something with this, either house rule, someone buys it or does something, because I'd love to see this turned into a great game. And that was our review of Encyclopedia.
What'd you think? Are you going to try and explore and try and find this game somewhere? Let us know in the comments below.
And if you're enjoying our content, please like this video, subscribe to our channel.
Until next time, I'm Lee.
I'm Kenny. I go party like a board gamer.